All right, guys, what day is it? Woot woot! It's Hump Day. Hey, Mike. Who's Mike? No, I got a editorial for you coming out of Pensacola, Florida, but it's about an Oklahoma cop. Give it to you in just a second here. Before I even get there, since we're talking about Oklahoma, talking about News Now, OKC, who was arrested for possessing a firearm or having a firearm in an establishment where they sell alcohol, i.e. a bar. Now, I've watched a couple of videos on this, and there are some people who are up in arms going, the cops they're tyrants, man. Oh, my God, they're violating his Second Amendment rights. And I looked it up, and in Oklahoma, you cannot have a firearm in an establishment where they sell low point beer or alcohol unless you're the proprietor of that establishment or you have a handgun license and that establishment's primary purpose is not to sell alcohol or low point beer. Like if you walk in a grocery store where they have wine and beer, or walk in 7-Eleven or Circle K and you have their primary purpose is to sell all kinds of other stuff. But when you walk into a bar, their low point beer and alcohol is what they sell. That's their primary purpose of a bar. So he basically broke the law when he walked in there with his firearm on his side, unless he's the proprietor. But here's the thing. It's a lot of people are up in arms and they're like, oh my God, the tyrants are wild. When you're out there doing a First Amendment audit or a Second Amendment audit or a Fourth Amendment audit, I've seen a couple of those where people go out with backpacks hoping the cops will check their backpack and go, why are you checking my back? What law have I broken? Why are you searching me? That's a Fourth Amendment violation. So whether you're doing a First, Second, or Fourth Amendment audit, you have to know the laws. You have to know the laws. I mean, they're going to get you anyway. Cops are going to make shit up. Like me, they got me for resisting because I wouldn't spell my name. That's what he said. And the law doesn't say you have to spell your name. It says you have to give your information. Well, I gave him my name and date of birth. But, of course, I was found not guilty of resisting. Of course I was. I didn't resist. I gave him my name and date of birth. But my point is, you have to know the laws before you go out there. And you can't give them any reason whatsoever. Now, the reason I gave, I'm using my case as an example, is he said, you jaywalked because I crossed. I crossed legally. Cops don't care if it's legal or not. Cops will use the excuse, and him and his sergeant both used this excuse. Well, we can't memorize the whole penal code handbook. That's what the courts are for. Oh, so, the law doesn't fucking matter. If you think you're right, you just write it up and then they can go to court and fight it. Yeah, whatever. That's called anarchy. Because there's Google, there's Bing, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. You can go on there and go, okay, that penal code doesn't fit. Okay, you know what? You're good to go. You can go your way. That's what you do, officer. Not, I don't know every code. Then stop being a fucking police officer and go find a job in a cubicle somewhere because you suck at it. Anyway, I'm saying all that to say this, that they're always going to find an excuse. They're always going to find something, some little bitty leeway where they can cite you or they want to arrest you. If you're a First Amendment auditor, a Second Amendment auditor, or a Fourth Amendment auditor, or a cop watcher, they want to arrest you. They want to get rid of us. They don't want us out there with cameras. You guys get that? So this guy goes into a bar, News Now Oklahoma, goes into a bar with a gun on him. Well, I'm doing a Second Amendment audit. How'd it work out for you? And I'm not saying, I'm not against News Now Oklahoma. I'm just saying how could you make that big of a mistake? That's not a small law he broke. How can you make that big of a mistake? He should have known, hold on, I can't go in a bar with a handgun. That's against the law. He should have known that. So I'm just saying to all of you, I know I'm going to get criticism on this, but it's not because I don't like News Now Oklahoma. I really like the guy. But that's just a mistake. That's one of those forehead slappers. Like, oh my God. That's not a mistake you make. So before you guys go do these audits, Look up your laws. Make sure you know what the law is. You may still be obeying the law and get arrested because they're going to find something. But this guy, he just flat out broke the law. And I looked it up, and I just gave it to you at the beginning of this video. So again, you can't go into a bar with a gun on you unless you're the proprietor or their sole purpose is not to sell alcohol. You know, maybe it's a restaurant and sells food or something. You got a handgun license, open carry. But he walked into a friggin' bar in Oklahoma. Moving on, let's get to our editorial this morning out of Pensacola, Florida. But it deals with Oklahoma cops. And thank you to Eyewitness News 3, WFSB for this story. We're doing it as an editorial. A maintenance man checking on a noise complaint at a Florida beachfront hotel Sunday night walked into the room where a small-town Oklahoma police detective killed his boss in a drunken brawl, authorities said. The noise is coming from room 527 at the Hilton on Pensacola Beach and Sunday night were so loud that the couple staying next door asked to switch rooms, according to an arrest report released to the Associated Press on Tuesday. Now, this is what your guys' tax money is paying for. There's your tax money right there. It was a conference they were sent to. A separate guest told investigators he heard a roaring sound followed by a voice saying, "Stop it, Mike," over and over. He said the voice grew quieter each time the phrase was repeated. By the time the maintenance man arrived to check out the complaint, he found Manford, Oklahoma police detective Michael Patrick Neely, 49, sitting on top of police chief Lucky Miller, 44. Not so lucky. Miller was pronounced dead. Neely is charged with second-degree homicide and is being held in the Escambia County Jail on a $500,000 bond. Manford's town officials said that Neely and Miller were close and went to Florida's Panhandle to attend a law enforcement conference at the Hilton. Mayor Tyler Buttram called the two men the best of friends. Neely and Miller were seen drinking together Sunday evening, and witnesses described their behavior as loud, according to an arrest report. Back in room 527, the noise level ramped up as the evening went on. A man who had been staying with his wife in the room next door told investigators that they had been disturbed by the sound of laughter coming through the wall for several hours. He went to the front desk to request a room change. When the maintenance man arrived, he knocked on the door, but no one answered. He could hear grunting noises. He said he opened the door and saw Neely on top of Miller. The report said the man yelled for Neely to get up, and when he didn't, the maintenance man worker pulled him off so hard Neely's nose and lip were injured. When deputies arrived, Neely was just mumbling unintelligible words, according to the arrest report. He was drunk. Paramedics found Lucky Miller, unresponsive. His face had been beaten and his right eye was completely swollen. Neely's right hand was swollen and red. Neely was first taken to the hospital. Why did they take him to the hospital first? Miller had been police chief since 2007. Mayor Buttram said in a statement, adding that the town was having a difficult time with the tragedy. "We are heartbroken by the news. Please keep both families in your prayers as we work to move forward." Another officer has been appointed as interim police chief. Manford is about 20 miles west of Tulsa. It has a population of about 3,200 people. An attorney for Neely isn't listed on court records, but his next court appearance is scheduled for December 5th. So I went through that really fast because I'm kind of almost out of time here, and I wanted to speak on it a little bit. But to sum it up, I'm going to give you a quick, moral of the story here, or whatever. That, in conclusion, you have two cops from a small Oklahoma town who go to a police conference in Pensacola Beach, Florida, at the Hilton. Did you see that freaking place? That's what your tax dollars are paying for these two guys to go there and drink and attend a conference. They get drunk, something happened. Now, who knows if Neely wasn't the victim and it was self-defense? So let's not jump on Neely this quick, but he was charged with second-degree murder, and right now that's what they're looking at, and a $500,000 bond. How many legal experts do we have out there who know statistics? How many of you out there do analysis or have analyzed this stuff before? Statistical wise, is that proper? I mean, would they charge or look at charging a non-law enforcement officer with first-degree manslaughter, something to that effect. I don't know. But he's being charged with second-degree homicide. Did it say homicide or murder? See, I read right over it. Second-degree homicide. Okay. Because you have first-degree murder, second-degree murder, third-degree murder. You have voluntary manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, and negligent homicide. And there may be more on the list. That's just when I went to the police academy. And when I took criminal law and courts procedures in college, that's what we one of the things we studied was those levels of homicide. But he's been charged with second-degree homicide, which I don't know if that would, because I just thought about it. I don't know if that would be second-degree murders, which I thought it was, or it could be involuntary manslaughter. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is crazy. So is this guy a cop or is he a cop killer? What's he going to be labeled as? And what's going to happen to this guy? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. I got to go. And remember, if you're out there cop watching or if you're out there doing audits, guys, research the law first. Okay? Because even then, if they get you on something, at least maybe you can get it dismissed or be found not guilty. Take away their power to charge you with certain violations. I.e., in Oklahoma, don't walk into a bar with a gun on your hip and say, well, it's a Second Amendment audit. It just broke the law. I wonder what you guys think. Community Leo Watch, as law enforcement officers, I'm watching you in every community and letting the nation know what's going on with you across this country. Thank you guys. Happy Hump Day. We'll talk to you more.